Hi there, and welcome to my second Guitar Fingers video on some simple blues for beginners. This is where I've been doing a little set of videos for getting straight into playing a blues sequence using some chords, using some bass notes to providing some runs and some alternating bass feel as well. So it just sounds a little bit more interesting than a straightforward strummed blues. So this one, as I said, was for a major blues. We're going to be in the key of A major. And so first of all, I think what I'll do, I'll just show you the chords we're going to use. We can play an A major. We know an A major chord now is just these fingers just stacked up on fret 2. So we've got A, E, A, C sharp and E. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take away finger 3 on the A. So now I've just got A, E, G, that's the bluesy sound, C sharp and an E. In fact, if I just use fingers 1 and 2 there, that's a bit simpler to see. Okay, so now you can hear the difference between a normal major chord, as we call it, a happy sounding chord, and then playing it as a bluesy sounding chord. There you go, just one note difference, nice and simple. Okay, so that's our A major. We're going to call that a seventh, A7. Okay, and if you hear the word dominant or seventh, A7 chord, just kind of think of it as this bluesy sound. We won't get too technical today. D major, this is our D major chord. We probably all know this by now. So D, A, D, and then F sharp there on the first string. And I'm just going to change that fingering around. So we've got D, finger 2 playing an A, finger 1 playing a C. There's our bluesy sound now. So it's changed from that D on fret 3 to a C. There we go, on fret 1 of string 2, and then the high F sharp. Okay, so there's our D7, okay, or D dominant. Again, let's not get too technical here. So A7, D7, okay, and then we're going to form an E major chord. So E major, E, B, E there. That G sharp just tucked away on fret 1 now of string 3, and then open B and E. There's a big E major chord. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add finger 4 here onto fret 3 of string 2, the D. Okay. And there's that bluesy sounding again. Normal major, happy sound. Add the D, and then we get that bluesy sound. So there's our 3 bluesy sounding chords. Let's do it this way. A7, D7, E7. Okay, so there's the basis of our chord sequence. Right, let's go straight in, and we're going to add the same bass notes as I played in the minor blues. Okay, so nothing else is going to change apart from the sound of those chords. So we start off, if I form this A7th chord first, I can do it with fingers 2 and 3. Again, don't get het up over which fingers you use. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can always reach that low G there with either fingers 4 or finger 3, depending on which ones you want to use for the A7th chord. I'll do it this way, just for a change. So I start off with a low bass E. This is on the tab. I haven't written this out in music. I've given it in a tab format this time. So it's not about reading. It's about seeing fret numbers, strings, and just being able to play without having to read music. A nice simple way of getting going. So low E, fret 3 for the G, bass A, chord, low E, alternating bass, chord, A, string 5, chord, repeat, E, G, A, chord, alternating bass, low E, chord, A, chord. Now we're going to move to our D7, so I'm going to play open string A, fret 3 for the C, and that moves us up to open string D, chord, A bass, alternating bass, chord, chord, D chord, and we're going to walk down to the A7th again. So I'm going to play D, C, A bass, alternating bass with that low E, chord, string 5 A bass, chord, A, we're going to walk down to low E, so there's my G first, A, G, low E, and I form that big E chord with that finger 4 now on that D chord. This time I've slightly altered the tab. I'm going to play a B bass, so that's that string 5 fret 2 there. So I've got the low E chord, string 5 chord for that B, okay, low E chord, B again, fret 2 on string 5 chord, and then just straight into A major, A chord, and walk back down to A, G, E, and then our E7. Okay, so there's a very quick walkthrough, just using the tab. Let me just explain some of those points again. I've used some bass notes to run. Okay, we can call them walking basses. You might hear that sometimes, people saying we're doing a walking bass line. So go. Yeah, so we're just using a bass to kind of walk somewhere and walk back again. That's a very simple version I've done. There's lots more complicated versions and they're just as good fun to play. Alternating bass, let me be clear here about what I'm saying. So I could just play an A7th chord, A chord, A chord, A chord. Okay, sounds fine. But let me alternate. Put a low E in, A chord, low E chord. Yeah, and when I strum these chords, I'm not being too particular. Here I'm playing string 5 bass, then all the 4 strings underneath it to get the rest of that chord, but I'm not too worried. I could just simply go A, much simpler. Yeah, so don't get too worried about if you're not hitting all the strings, all the correct strings. You can just do a selection of them. Again, it's take away the worry. Don't be worried about being too precise, but just get the general feel and then just decide how many strings you want to hit at any one time. So that's alternating bass notes. That's it. This is just a follow on, so we now get a much brighter, bluesier sound using the major chords with the 7th in there, the bluesier sound. I'll just play this through again, nice and simple. You can rewind the video, of course, or just stop and pause and take it back wherever you want to play it. But this is how it should sound now. Let me just finish that. Good luck with that.